Today we are going to be making some sourdough sandwich loaves. This recipe does make 2 loaves, so if you are only wanting one, go ahead and half all of the ingredients. Those ingredients are water, active starter, avocado oil, melted butter, all-purpose flour, bread flour, sugar, and I use sea salt. Go ahead and get out your kitchen scale, get your bowl ready, add your 600 grams of water, then 160 grams of your active starter, and it should float. I like to use my hand just to kind of incorporate that starter. You're going to add your 20 grams of avocado oil and 20 grams of melted butter. Next is 515 grams of your all-purpose flour, followed by the same amount of bread flour. Then add your 18 grams of sea salt and 24 grams of sugar. I like to grab a wooden spoon and use the handle end of it to begin to incorporate all of the ingredients together. And once that is starting to kind of come together, I grab my bowl scraper and get the rest of the flour from the outside and from the bottom and fold it all into the center. So you're going to set this aside, cover it in plastic wrap or a shower cap like I do here. It's not going to look great at this point, but after about 20 minutes, it should start to come together as a nice dough. So just kind of work that in. And you don't really need to knead it. We're really just kind of pulling it all together and making it one kind of cohesive ball of dough. Now this is where we are going to split the dough into 2 since we are making 2 loaves. So I go ahead and get my bowl and put it on the scale. You don't have to be this specific, but I just wanted to get it as close to even as I could for the sake of this video, really. So you can just split it by eye, or you can do what I'm doing here, which is a lot messier, but you'll get the even separation of the dough into 2 balls of dough. So here I'm just kind of folding the dough into the center, building a little bit of tension. Like I said before, you don't really need to knead it. You're just kind of trying to make that into a smooth dough ball. If you want to wet your hands before you do this step, it will go a lot smoother than it's going for me here. It won't stick to your hands nearly as much. So again, if you want to wet your hands, that will help. So here is our dough, and now we are going to let it sit on the counter. So we're going to go ahead and cover it up with plastic wrap and let it sit out on the counter for really as long as it takes. For me, I let it sit overnight, so it's anywhere from 12 to 14 hours depending on the room temperature. So here is the dough that has risen. We're going to get out our loaf pans, and I like to use butter to make it non-stick. You can use cooking spray if that's what you prefer. So they are all greased up. We'll just set those to the side, and now we will shape our loaves. So I'm going to do a little bit of flour on the counter, scrape the dough out onto the counter, and we're going to be a little gentle with it, but we are going to let the dough rise again, so it's okay to kind of pop some of those bubbles to get a nice little rectangle. I like to fold in the sides and kind of tuck in the middle at the bottom, and then roll it up. You kind of tuck it and pull it towards you to kind of pinch the dough to get it to seal. And then I go on both sides of the dough and kind of pinch it again just to seal it shut so it won't kind of break open during the baking process. So I just kind of go over that until it feels nice and secure. And I'll transfer that into my loaf pan. And then I will do the same thing with the other loaf. so once that is done, I'll just make sure they're both covered and let them rise on the counter again until they're about an inch above the pan. And you'll go ahead and turn your oven to 375 degrees. Once that is preheated, you can take off the plastic wrap and admire your beautiful loaves before they go in the oven. You can just slide them on in there, bake them at the same time. I haven't had any issues doing that. And 42 minutes is what I go for. I found that 40 minutes isn't quite long enough. So 42 minutes. Here they are out of the oven. Gonna let them cool just like this on the cooling rack for about 10 to 15 minutes. And once that time is up, you can go ahead and flip your bread out. Get it right on that cooling rack, and you want to let it fully cool before you do anything else with it. And once you are ready, go ahead and cut into your bread. Should be nice and fluffy. We use this bread for turkey sandwiches or French toast, or just with some butter and jam in the mornings. You really can't go wrong. We really love this recipe, and I hope you do too. So thanks for watching.